little too close because it's a confidential meeting, but I love Wednesday mornings spending time in a chat with the Starship group that I'm a part of. That's a creative business community. So, yay. Enjoying that, and also watching Diane's Vlogmas video, and about to have coffee. I'm having coffee with Whopper Joe. Those are awesome socks, Joe.
I'm going to
love them.
Finish the cup.
All right, we're all set up. About to record the podcast. Are you excited, Dammy? Mm-hmm. Happy Wednesday.
Thanks.
You can't see my face. There we go. Happy Wednesday. Yay. So we are about to answer a question from Ask the Geeky Girls from the thread on the Ravelry group. And it's about podcasting and how we podcast. And I actually might take that segment and put it in the vlog as well, for if people don't watch the podcast or whatever. I think I might do that. So here comes our answer to how we podcast.
And now it's time for Ask the Geeky Girls, the part of our show where you ask us things and we answer them, or try to.
Yeah. So what is this week's question, Dammy?
This week's question is from Erin, who is Erin Ireland from Illinois.
Who is not from Ireland. But she sent us a message.
Okay.
It was funny. Okay, go ahead.
Since I'm mostly going to answer this, do you want to ask it?
Oh, you're going to answer it?
I thought I was going to answer it.
Oh, if you want to answer it. I thought we were going to answer it together.
Yeah?
Okay.
Why don't I ask it?
Okay, sorry. Confusion.
I would like to know more about the technical side of podcasting. I understand if you do not want to reveal the back of the camera side, since it is proprietary information. Hi, Winks. How do you prepare? You're an avid reader and movie watcher, so how do you keep everything organized to include in the podcast? How do you edit? How long does it take? What equipment do you use? I have so many more questions, but I think this gives you an idea of my interest in how the podcast works. How do we prepare?
So we have well, do you want to answer this? Because I can answer then the part about editing and equipment and all that.
Sure.
Okay.
You're the one who does the show notes, though.
Yeah, but you can talk about what we do.
We have a Google document with a basic outline of what we have to say that changes every week for each segment. So, like, in our Google document, we have Ask Geeky Girls, and we have the whole question pasted here so we can read it and answer it. And for our reading and watching section, we have listed all the stuff we've read and watched and stuff. Yeah, so
we both have access to it, so we both can go in and edit it. And then I use that document to make the show notes on our website. Mm-hmm. So, and that's kind of how we prepare. I mean, we just every day we're into this document because Dammy's like putting in people who finished projects that week. We're updating, oh, okay, we watched this last night. Let's put some notes in so we can remember what we wanted to say about that. If we finish project, moving it from on the needles to finished projects, starting a new project, add it there. So having that all together is what we use. And then just like before we podcast, we just kind of look it over, or in each segment we go, oh, I'm like, oh, okay, somebody introduced themselves this week. Do you see their Ravelry name? Make sure you can pronounce it, all that stuff. So that's how we prepare. And how we organize. Okay, well, first let's talk about equipment do we use. We film on an iPad. We have a
Mini.
iPod Mini 3, I think. What did I say?
iPod.
iPad Mini, I think it's a 3. And we have a tripod, and then I bought this piece that you connect to it that the iPad will snap into. Mm-hmm. So that is, and then it's just like sitting here in front of us.
First, we're using the front-facing camera.
Yeah, to record. That's what we record on. Okay, and then editing the podcast. So then if AirDrop is working, we AirDrop all those files to the computer, and I use iMovie to edit the podcast. So I have set up a kind of a template of, like, especially our regular segments and the music that goes with that, title cards and whatever, and then I can just plop in the new ones, adjust the volume, and crop out stuff. Usually that's on the beginning of ends is where it gets cropped out from the place where Dammy reaches forward to hit the button until we start talking. And so, crop out we don't usually crop out stuff like within a segment unless it's like okay, well, that part where Winksy was chasing a Cheerio, so we'll cut that where it was making all the noise, and then, you know, start the next video that we did to make it work. So I edit all of that in iMovie, which takes... So recording a regularly length podcast takes us probably about an hour and a half, just because there's like, okay, let's stop. I need a drink of water. You know, okay, do you see this? All right, we're gonna do this. And so it takes usually about an hour and a half to record. And then it probably takes around half an hour to do the actual editing after I've gotten the videos and then gotten them into the iMovie. And then it usually takes about anywhere from like 45 minutes to an hour for iMovie to process and give me
process and export it.
Yeah, to give me the MP4 file. And then so that we can adjust the size of the file as well as the volume, I use Handbrake, which is another technical program that I put it into. I can adjust the volume to make the entire thing louder, and change the size of it, the file size, just a little bit. So that processes through, and that takes usually about 45 minutes to an hour to do. And then in the meantime, I have taken the show notes and I have updated them, updated it all on the website, you know, put in the different links for different stuff, all that stuff, put in the photos for GGK Crafty Pat, all that. So that's ready to go. And then once it gets through Handbrake, I upload it to both YouTube. I do it as unlisted because we record on Wednesdays, but then the podcast goes live Thursday morning. Other than our patrons get to see, our Patreon supporters get, if they're at a certain level, get to see it the day before. So I send the link out to them on Wednesday late afternoon. I upload it there, and I also upload it to our place where we that hosts our files for iTunes. And then once those are done, I have to put the file link into the show notes so that it'll process through iTunes. I have to change the link out for the YouTube video for the show notes. And then I also go into our Ravelry stuff and I do a new thread for the new episode. If there's a giveaway, I deal with that. I update the Ask the Geeky Girl section with a link on the post where the question was asked to say answered in episode whatever, and I also respond to tell them that so that they're notified. And then what else? And then I email Deb, our virtual assistant, with the title card. Oh, I didn't even say this. I do a title card image that has the title that I do in iPicky. I've got it kind of set up and I just have to go in and put the stuff. So I send that image as well as like a little blurb about what the episode's about and the link and everything to Deb so that she can do social media scheduling, which we use Buffer for. And then after all that, I update the Google Docs show notes document so that everything is ready to start fresh for the new week. And then I go to knitting group and go to bed. And then the next morning, Thursday morning, I make the YouTube video public and publish the show notes and to send it through to iTunes. I post all those things that I talked about for the Geeky Girls Knit group. Is that it? I think that's everything. There's a lot of stuff. So it probably, over the course of a normal week, I probably spend like maybe 10 to 12 hours doing podcast stuff. Between all, the Wednesday is like the bulk of it, but then there's stuff on other days as well that I deal with. Did I answer all her questions?
I think so.
It takes time, but we love y'all and we love doing this, and so we gladly give our time to do it, and yeah. So, Erin, I hope that answered your questions. I may have told you more than you even wanted to know. So, Dammy, if somebody has a question for us, what should they do?
Go to our Ask the Geeky Girls thread in our Ravelry group and post it.
That's right. Okay, let's move on to the next segment.
All right. I didn't record me making the pom-pom today because I am putting in that longer segment from the podcast about how we podcast. So I just went ahead and made the pom-pom, and now I'm just going to show you. So, oops, sorry, I'm holding the camera instead of using a stand. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and this one right here is today's number 13. So, pom-pom done for today. I'm going to go ahead and edit this and get this up before I leave to go to knit night, just because sometimes it's late when I get back. So, I'm going to do that, and I've got to finish getting the podcast done too as well. So, I hope y'all are having a great Wednesday, and it's 12 days till Christmas. Oh my gosh. All right. Have a great one. Bye, y'all.